Hi guys, it's Mercury. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you managed to join us today. If you enjoy these videos, like and subscribe below so that you never miss a reaction. Today we are going to be looking at the 10 things that are impossible to explain to non-Brits. Now, I'm a Londoner. I have lived in London my entire life, so there are probably things in this that I think are completely normal for everyone and just are limited to Great Britain. So let's see how wrong my perception of the world is. Let's take a look.
I love to laugh.
Toast, I've been meaning to talk to you.
You're talking to me now.
Yes, it's about the sense of humour issue.
I have a terrific sense of humour. It's just very dry.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things in British culture impossible to explain to non-Brits.
It's not quite nasal enough the way.
I love that their first example is a dry and sarcastic sense of humour. That is 100% me. I am very, very sarcastic. And I have a feeling that some of that might be taken the wrong way in some countries, so let's check it out.
You're doing it, all right? You're not doing it the way he speaks. You're not doing it with the kind of... And you don't do the broken voice when he gets very emotional.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
I will link this video in the description as
For
well,
this
so go
list,
check them out.
we'll be looking at a few causes of cultural confusion that are unique to the small island we call home. What do you find weird about the UK? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Marmite.
To be honest, if there are things that you thought in this video that are completely out of what you expected, let me know in the comments below because I would love to get your opinion on this.
A dark brown savoury spread invented in the late 19th century and made from yeast extract sludge left over from brewing beer. Sounds yummy.
They don't exactly market that
actually,
well.
it doesn't. But Marmite fans know the very real joy it can bring when spread thinly on hot buttered toast, with a fresh brewed cup of tea to balance out.
I've got to admit, I hate Marmite. It's horrible. And I mean, their marketing slogan is love it or hate it, which is accurate. I hate it.
The salty flavour.
It doesn't take long before new recruit Callum Howe finds another jar in a shocking state.
Oh no.
What's the matter?
It's a baby one.
Okay, don't panic.
It's not been used in months.
Not all Brits feel the same though, and Marmite is famously marketed as a polarising food that you either love or hate.
Yes.
The proper stuff is only manufactured in the UK in the Burton-on-Trent Marmite factory. It's been there since 1902 and produces roughly 50 million jars in a year. And no, Australia, Vegemite is not as good.
I've never
Number
tried
9.
Vegemite. Maybe I
Public
should.
schools are private schools.
Settle down.
You'll often hear it said that our country is run by public school boys. However, this doesn't mean what it might in other parts of the world. It doesn't imply that these politicians went to state-funded institutions and pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. It suggests that they were born into extreme privilege.
I've never understood the difference. We kind of use them interchangeably, public and private schools. To be honest, if you need to state that you went to a type of school, I just assume that it was paid for at this point.
And attended some of the most prestigious fee-paying schools in the world. In the UK, we refer to schools for the general public as state schools, and private schools for the wealthy as public schools or independent schools. Except, not all private schools are called public schools. Some do actually call themselves private schools, and most call themselves charities too. Registered charities. Confused yet? No more than you should be.
I live
Number
here and I
8.
don't get this.
Insults are our love language. Terms of affection and endearment are different the world over. In the UK, you know that someone feels comfortable around you if they insult you to
Oh,
your
this
face.
is so true.
Or they might just be rude.
They're not jokes as such, they're just little things to say.
Yeah, it's probably fine in the hands of taxi drivers, or cockneys, or even Geordies.
When you've lived here long enough, you'll learn to tell the difference. Sarcasm
Oh
may
my
be the
God.
lowest form of wit, but it's also a great tool for masking social awkwardness.
This
stops
is amazing, 'cause
conversations
it's
becoming
so
too
accurate.
serious and fends off the Brits' greatest fear, earnestness. We spend so much time being generally polite, no one wants to put that wall up around their own friends and family.
Do you know what you are? You're a big bag of shit!
It doesn't mean we love each other any less, but where's the fun in life without some friendly teasing?
Like, me and my parents have like nicknames for each other when we just annoy each other or in general that on the outside would seem so rude, and they're so funny to us because it's how we've grown up. You know, my dad is the grumpy old git because he was grumpy when he came home from work one time and it stuck. And I love it and talk to everyone in my life this way. I can see how other people would assume that this means we all hate each other.
Deadpan delivery required, of course. Number 7. Town names and their pronunciation. British place names are famously difficult for tourists to get their head around. Even native-born Brits will get tripped up at some point. The English language has a checkered history. You can blame most of the confusion on the Romans, Anglo-Saxons, and the Vikings. Also the French and the Celts. Being able to pronounce the name of Welsh village has even become something of a party piece.
That was impressive. Because I can say the end of it, and that is like, it took me forever. My mum can say this whole town, and it's like her party trick. If she goes to parties and she can say the whole town, and people just sort of stand there going, how did you learn that? And more importantly, why did you learn it? And I think she learned it purely so that she can do it at parties.
Just up the road from Llanfair to Pwllgwyngyll, go get a Quindrobwll, Llantysilio, go. The temperature got to 21 Celsius.
When you take pronunciation out of the equation, however, there are still a lot of place names that sound like somebody might be having you on. From Fatty Head to Scratchy Bottom, there are oddly named towns in every corner of the British Isles. Number 6. The variety of accents.
When it gets loudly, it gets very loud indeed. It gets very specific. It's not quite nasal enough the way you're doing it, all right? You're not doing it the way he speaks.
Every country has its own different...
So I remember when Cheryl Cole went on to the US X Factor and they had to put subtitles underneath her because her accent was so strong that Americans couldn't understand it. And people were really confused. They're like, you're from England, why don't you sound like Simon Cowell? Completely different areas.
Differences in dialect and accent, even if it's difficult for an outsider to hear the nuance. But for such a small place, the UK does seem to have a disproportionate amount of variety. For a long time, a British accent was generally thought of as standard received pronunciation, but with the world opening up, regional accents are gradually becoming more familiar to foreign ears.
What I'm saying is that, like, if they had themselves proper jobs, you know, for a until, then they wouldn't do it. You know, a lot of them's from broken homes.
Sorry, that was just a noise.
A Glasgow accent is very different from a Newcastle accent, which is different from a Birmingham accent.
You're a good man. Cheryl Cole was from Newcastle.
And a good soldier.
People in the countryside don't sound the same as those in the town. Some people in Wales and Scotland even speak a whole different language. And nobody speaks like Dick Van Dyke, bless him.
Right, nobody speaks like Dick Van Dyke. And
Number 5, hot and cold taps. There are a few questions that non-natives tend to have about British bathrooms. The no-plugs thing is clearly a health and safety issue. The carpets are about keeping warm, but separate taps for hot and cold, they're a bit more...
Hang on a minute. No. Who the hell has carpet in their bathroom? Like, I've lived here my entire life. The only people that I know that have had carpet in their bathroom, it's like a downstairs, under the stairs toilet, and then you have a proper bathroom somewhere else where it has a tiled floor, like a normal person. Like, isn't that just a health and safety thing as well? Like, doesn't that get just really gross? Like, let me know if anyone has carpet in their bathroom. I want to know the reason why.
Difficult to justify. We do have our reasons, they're just not really relevant anymore. Historically, cold water came from the mains and was safe to drink.
I'm quite all right, Barbara. I ran it under a cold tap.
Hot water was a later addition to UK households. When it did arrive, it was usually heated in a tank in the loft, therefore it wasn't as fresh. Modern bathrooms do sometimes have mixer taps, they've just not really caught on yet.
Why is it so
Number
weird
4,
to have separate
the
taps?
tea obsession. No, Britain is not the only country to enjoy a nice cup of tea.
Okay, so I have a confession here. I don't like tea. And I know they're probably going to take my passport away for saying that, but I just don't. And I think it boils down to when I was younger, my dad used to like dunk biscuits in his tea and it used to leave a sludge at the bottom and it just put me off. And now I just haven't got used to the taste, I guess. I do prefer coffee. Fellow Brits, let me know in the comments if I have anyone with me on this, because all my friends drink tea.
Do you know, I can't remember the last time I had a good cup of chai.
But we are quite singular in the way we take it. It's possibly only the Irish who also understand this one. For the real tea drinker, you must understand this is not just a casual beverage. It is usually an addiction, begun in late childhood. A cup of tea can be a consolation, an offer of friendship, or a gauge of how long a visitor is going to stay. To
be honest, I do keep tea bags in my kitchen purely for when visitors come around. So I guess it is part of the hospitality thing. But yeah, I never drink it.
British person says tea, they do not mean chamomile or green or iced. They mean English breakfast, usually with milk and often with sugar. And please don't leave the tea bag in the cup.
Tea Earl Grey hot.
Number 3. Metric or imperial. The UK officially adopted the metric system in 1965. That's over 50 years ago. It's what they use in Europe. It's what we learn in school. It's a much simpler way of working things out, as you're working with units of 10, not 12. So why do we still weigh ourselves in pounds and stone? Measure our height in feet and inches? Travel in miles? Buy beer and milk in pints?
All right.
The older generation will occasionally still tell you the temperature in Fahrenheit. Shouldn't we have acclimatized by now? Yes. No one under the age of 70 grew up under the imperial system. Good luck explaining this to anyone outside Britain, because it makes no sense at all. Number 2. Baked beans for breakfast. British food has never had a great reputation with the rest of the world. We traditionally choose hearty, comforting food, and that's okay. We need it in our climate. However, if there's one British dish that visitors really can't fathom, it's the humble beans on toast.
Why is this so weird? I mean, it's like having spaghetti hoops on toast or like on a jacket potato. You know, I'm sure in America you have like beans on a jacket potato. It's just a different carbohydrate. I don't understand why it's weird.
Baked beans are a staple for the average Brit. Usually eaten as part of a fried breakfast or as a quick snacky tea, sometimes they're just what you need. They are eaten elsewhere in the world, but you'd be more likely to find them at a barbecue than on a breakfast table. No one else has taken this simple convenience food to their hearts quite like us.
Wait, how do you cook baked beans on a barbecue? I don't get that. Do you have to bring a pan out and put them on the barbecue? Do you, like, it would fall through the gaps otherwise? Someone explain that to me, please. I don't get it.
Number 1. What is the country actually called? The United Kingdom, Great Britain, the British Isles. So which is it? Well, the British Isles is a geographical term. It describes a group of islands including Great Britain, the island of Ireland, the Isle of Man, the Scottish Isles, and the Scilly Isles. Great Britain is the biggest island in the group and is made up of England, Scotland, and Wales. The United Kingdom is a political union. Full name, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It includes England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The red, white, and blue flag is the Union flag, or Union Jack, and is composed of flags from England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, but not Wales. Got it?
To be fair, it would be really hard to fit the Welsh flag on the Union Jack, considering it's a dragon, but the Welsh flag is by far the coolest of all of them. I mean, who doesn't want a dragon on their flag? So yeah, that was our top 10 things that make sense to no one else outside of Britain, the UK, the British Isles, whichever you want to call it. I agree with some of them, I don't agree with others. But yeah, the naming convention, the amount of times I've had people say, oh, you know, England is Britain. No, no, no. Try and go to Scotland and say that, you're likely to get a Glasgow kiss, which is a headbutt. So, well, we'll see. If anyone has any others to add that you find weird about what we do, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you again soon. And remember, in a world that you can be anything, be kind. Bye guys!